The Haunting of Hollow House. The Hollow House had always been a looming, forbidding presence in the town of Ravenswood. Its exterior, adorned with delicate Victorian details, was deceptively charming. Yet, it had long been abandoned and stood as a testament to the eerie legend that shrouded it in darkness. The town's residents dared not approach the mansion, for they believed it to be cursed, a place from which no one had ever returned. One moonless night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to test the legend. Sarah, the fearless leader of the group, was joined by her friends Alex and Emily. They also persuaded their reluctant acquaintance Mark to accompany them on their journey into the unknown. Gathering outside the wrought iron gate that guarded the Hollow House, they steeled themselves for the terrifying adventure that lay ahead. Sarah held a flickering flashlight, casting eerie, elongated shadows on the ivy-covered walls as they approached the entrance. The air grew cold, and the heavy wooden door creaked open with a bone-chilling groan, as if beckoning them further into its enigmatic depths. The teenagers stepped cautiously into the dimly lit foyer, their footsteps echoing ominously. Suddenly, a strange, disembodied voice whispered, "Welcome, intruders," sending shivers down their spines. They exchanged panicked glances but pressed on, determined to unravel the mysteries of the house. As they ventured deeper into the mansion, it seemed as though the very walls were alive. Shadows danced menacingly in the corners of their vision, and whispers grew louder, echoing through the darkened hallways. In the grand ballroom, they stumbled upon a grand piano that played hauntingly beautiful music, its keys moving of their own accord. In the basement, a place where the faintest of light struggled to penetrate, they discovered a hidden chamber. Its walls were adorned with faded symbols and strange incantations. Emily gasped as her hand brushed against a dusty tome, revealing dark secrets of the house's history. The Hollow House had once been the site of a sinister cult, conducting rituals to summon malevolent spirits from beyond the veil. As they tried to leave, they found themselves trapped. Doors slammed shut, and the walls seemed to close in on them, suffocating them in the oppressive darkness. Mark screamed as he saw a spectral figure materialize before them. The ghostly apparition whispered, "You should never have come." Desperation consumed them as they struggled to find an escape. Hours turned into days and they began to lose hope. Sarah, trembling with fear, noticed an old diary on a dusty bookshelf. It revealed that the only way to leave the house was to perform a ritual to appease the vengeful spirits that had been bound to it. With trembling hands, they followed the instructions in the diary. Candles flickered, casting eerie, flickering shadows on the walls. The air grew heavy with anticipation as they chanted the incantations. As the ritual concluded, the spirits seemed to relent, allowing the teenagers to flee the house. They stumbled out, traumatized and changed forever. The Hollow House would forever haunt their nightmares, a grim reminder of the horrors they had faced within its cursed walls. The Malevolent Mirror. The Anderson family had just moved into their new home, a charming Victorian house that seemed like a dream come true. It was nestled at the edge of a quiet, picturesque town, surrounded by lush, ancient forests. As they settled into their new abode, they discovered an ornate mirror in the hallway. It was a beautiful antique with an intricate frame, but it carried an eerie presence that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. Soon, strange occurrences began to plow with the family. At night, the mirror would reflect distorted images, grotesque versions of the family members. They dismissed it as mere trickery of the light, chalking it up to their imagination, until one fateful evening when young Lily saw her reflection mouth the words, "Join us." Terrified, they contacted a local paranormal investigator, Dr. Harrison, who specialized in unexplained phenomena. Dr. Harrison explained that the mirror's unsettling history dated back centuries. It had once belonged to a powerful sorceress who used it for nefarious rituals. The mirror had absorbed the malevolent energy of these dark practices, trapping the souls of those who had fallen victim to its curse. Despite his expertise, Dr. Harrison found that the mirror was unlike anything he had encountered before. It resisted all attempts to cleanse it of its malevolent presence. One by one, the family members began to change. Their personalities twisted and their actions grew sinister. The mirror's malevolent influence was spreading like a sinister disease. Desperate and feeling trapped, Dr. Harrison delved deeper into the mirror's past. He discovered a hidden chamber beneath the house, accessible only through a concealed passage behind a bookshelf. Inside, he found the remains of the sorceress's victims, their tortured souls still bound to the mirror's dark power. The family's transformation continued, and they became unrecognizable, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of evil. Dr. Harrison, armed with ancient incantations and protective amulets, confronted the mirror in a final showdown. As he recited the incantations, the mirror fought back, unleashing a torrent of malevolent energy. In a blinding flash of light, the mirror shattered into 1,000 shards, releasing the trapped souls and purging the house of its evil presence. The Anderson family was saved, but their home would forever bear the scars of the malevolent mirror's presence. As they rebuilt their lives, they learned to appreciate the tranquility of their new surroundings. Yet, in the darkest hours of the night, when the moon cast eerie shadows through the trees, they couldn't help but wonder if some remnants of the mirror's malevolence still lingered within the corners of their home. The whispering walls nestled deep within a remote forest stood a massive, long-abandoned mansion known as Blackwood Manor. It had been forgotten by time, its once grand architecture now a crumbling, decaying relic of a bygone era. The mansion's sinister reputation had been earned through generations of bizarre occurrences and unexplained disappearances, making it a place that even the bravest souls dared not approach. A young couple, Emma and Daniel, had always dreamed of owning a grand and storied house. When they stumbled upon Blackwood Manor, they saw it as a chance to fulfill that dream. Ignoring the ominous warnings from the locals, they purchased the mansion and moved in, eager to restore the decaying structure to its former glory. As they began their renovations, they quickly noticed that the mansion was not as empty as it seemed. Strange phenomena occurred with increasing frequency. Whispers echoed through the walls, and eerie voices beckoned them deeper into the house, as though the very building itself sought to lure them into its mysteries. One night, unable to resist the haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the basement, Emma descended the creaking stairs. There she discovered an ancient grand piano, its keys coated with dust. To her astonishment, the piano began to play a hauntingly beautiful tune, its keys moving as if guided by invisible hands. As the music filled the air, she felt an overwhelming urge to join in, her fingers dancing across the ivory keys. But as she played, the world around her seemed to warp and shift. She was transported to a nightmarish realm where the spirits of the house tormented her. Ghastly apparitions clad in tattered, century-old garments surrounded her, their hollow eyes filled with anguish and despair. Daniel, frantic to save Emma, sought the help of Madame Lorraine, a renowned psychic and paranormal investigator. Madame Lorraine had encountered countless malevolent entities in her career, but she had never encountered a house with such a relentless grip on its inhabitants. She arrived at Blackwood Manor, her senses tingling with anticipation. Madame Lorraine explained to Emma and Daniel that the mansion was a portal to the spirit world, and the malevolent entities within craved the living. She conducted a séance to communicate with the spirits, hoping to find a way to release Emma from their grasp. During the séance, the spirits grew furious, throwing objects and manifesting their terrifying presence. Emma's voice, distorted and filled with anguish, pleaded for help as the spirits fought to keep her trapped in their nightmarish realm. With great effort, Madame Lorraine managed to banish the spirits temporarily, allowing Emma to return to the physical world. But the spirits were not defeated. They continued to torment the couple, their malevolence growing stronger with each passing day. Emma and Daniel realized that the only way to break the curse was to leave Blackwood Manor, but the house refused to release its grip, as though it had become a living malevolent entity. In a harrowing final confrontation, Emma, Daniel, and Madame Lorraine confronted the spirits in a battle of wills. With the help of Madame Lorraine's vast knowledge of the supernatural and the couple's unwavering love for each other, They channeled their collective energy into a protective barrier that encased the entire mansion. As they recited ancient incantations and performed sacred rituals, the spirits howled in rage, unable to penetrate the protective shield. The house quaked, and the very ground seemed to tremble beneath them as the malevolent entities unleashed their fury. But slowly, inch by inch, the barrier held strong, and the spirits began to lose their grip on Blackwood Manor. The couple and Madame Lorraine fought with every ounce of their being, pouring their love and determination into the protective shield. Finally, with a deafening, otherworldly roar, the malevolent entities were banished from Blackwood Manor. The house stood silent and still, its oppressive atmosphere lifted at last. Emma and Daniel, drained but victorious, stumbled out into the cool night air, their home now free from the horrors that had plagued it. As they rebuilt their lives, they learned to appreciate the tranquility of their new surroundings. Yet, in the darkest hours of the night, when the moon cast eerie shadows through the trees, they couldn't help but wonder if some remnants of the spirit's malevolence still lingered within the corners of their home. A grim reminder of the horrors they had faced within the whispering walls of Blackwood Manor.